weekly is going to be determined on drop fight. And there it is, OUG prioritizing getting Salvation Podium to be able to scale the Takeda off as quickly as possible. 5-2-1 just as before. Grief dropping on top of them. Yu gets parried out of the fan charged RMB. Picks it back on up and tries to keep contesting the Tessa. As on the other side of the platform, his teammates are trying to keep 5-2-1 off of that ballista. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to. Yu takes so much damage and fire tick. He's going to have to utilize the movement on the fan to put himself below level of ballista, spotting him out and putting it back into the 1v1 with this Tessa. Yu holding on to the fan. RMB doesn't throw it into the red flash coming through from Yin. Will be able to find the parry. Has he been able to do enough? He's been able to wait long enough for WPG to come in for the third party. Oh my goodness, WPG knew that OUG liked to prioritize platform as well. They knew that OUG are one of those teams that are match point eligible. And Raven, they planned their pathing so that they could loot and then push onto platform and oust OUG from the spot.
Yeah, I saw it off spawn, Moxie, that WBG snuck it in, chose to land on the building spot just right before everyone landed. OUG's Yu did a spectacular job denying situations. This is why I think he's one of the best players. Patiently waiting and just having the read on that one charge parry. Now, unfortunately for them, KLA and both WBG, this is the problem with not being dynamic on your landing spots. If everyone knows you're landing on the spot, you open yourself up to counter strategy. And this is something that I wanted to see today from the league. Are we just going to let OUG scale up to the moon, or are we going to hit them with timing attacks? And it looks like TE as well joining in. OUG's over here. All right, we got to check out how everyone's doing. We can't be letting them take the match point. Everyone has to take down on OUG. And unfortunately, OUG, they don't anticipate the fact that they're going to get lobbied. Now we're going to get Wolves versus TE. Drop down with the purple Hong sword and the purple armor from the Tessa. ZK looking to get active onto the enemy Tessa. He is going to get charmed, but he does keep his F up. LYD down to a last focus situation. Wolves on the outside. A big scrap off in the background too. 5-2-1 and WBG going at it on the platform. WBG does have the advantage. WBG already up to 3 kills. And they're on Cannonball, scooping up a ton of loot. 5-2-1 tries to back off here. WBG does have the Ballista control. And Unique trying to get fully out of there. It looks like investing into finding this kill is worth the purple armor on this solo Wu Chen. He's going to try to have to make his way out of here. Nunchuck's not the best kiting weapon. Can Unique find a way to to break contact, cut noise, and get lost? Unique is a solos player as well. He is going to get uppercutted though. Light attacks coming to come out, and WBG, they're setting up beautifully, Moxley. They got the loot. They got the loot and 5 kills. They can literally coast until Yang right now and be chilling. JL up to 7 kills on their Viper composition, but they're not on match point. WBG is.
KLA needs to come in and contest WBG right now. Like, they need to contest WBG when WBG are still running gray and blue armor on 2 of their players, so that WBG are not clean with ultimates to be able to get just like cleared into Yang. Unfortunately for KLA, they have no way of knowing this. They have no way of knowing that the team that they just saw is WBG. They have no way of knowing that WBG are already 5 kills ahead of them, and they have no way of knowing that if they don't do this, then they could potentially lose the biweekly as a whole. Because like you said, WBG now can just coast, and that's exactly what it looks like they're going to do. As OUG, moving away from Salvation Podium, are going to be looking to try to scale back on up as KLA inside the bush. Just waiting for EWG to roll on by. Maybe they're going to go for an assassination play when a player is isolated, or maybe they're not taking a fight currently. 14 goes past, actually is left behind, but KLA retain the hiding position, so they're looking to just play as slow as they possibly can. As WPG, off of all of the kills that they've picked up, as well as that bounty that's currently on Akshay, they're going to be able to get all of the money to be able to properly scale through. As EWG comes, contests box. WBG looking for that LMB on the dagger, baits EWG into Akshai's line of sight. The Ballista finds connection. UWG have dropped a Bane's Breath directly on top of Salvation Podium, but are they going to be able to get the kills to actually have this one count? 14 tries to go into the Bane's Breath AoE, but puts himself away from the Pillar Obscuration, and as a result, Akshay still sitting on Ballista, gets the kill onto him instead. Lovely little linebacker charge as well coming on through from Baige on that Yueshan to get him pushed into that one with the F connection. And EWG, despite committing the Bane's Breath, are forced to, with their tail between their legs, back on off with the Wuchen TP as they now try and push back onto WBG, who just like OUG are getting lobbied on podium.
KLA making the play. They were sitting in the bush earlier, seeing EWG roll through, and now they come up, seeing the Moonbane going down, preparing for Yang, and they just happen to get super lucky here, taking down one of their competitions. I was worried that WBG was going to run away with this, but now OUG and KLA are in the running. It's really going to come down to this first Yang. Does KLA really want to super invest in this? Do they take this fight, or do they wait their chances in Yang? I think taking this fight is the correct play. They know that this team has invested ultimates.
Cactus.
And Temi ult is going to get invested. Tessa ult, a little bit of peel. But Takeda ult is out. Plus the zipping ult. Temi is really, really low. QGG has his work cut out for him. He needs to carry this fight for his team. They are on match point. 3 shoves down. He has 1 more shove to his name. EWG's 9 on the Wuchen at 1 HP. But TE coming in hot. Doesn't want anyone to do well. They're picking their Tesla comp. They're taking this very aggressively. Nice pick off from LYD with the third party. A little bit of an overextension on KLA. Is it going to pay off? They need to back off and avoid this fight with TE. But TE hot on their heels. They still have Viper V3. Looks like KLA is going to have to fight their way out of this. Can they survive? LYD is going to drop down. V3 is going to be invested. Fan R&B's coming out. CZX trying to survive this situation. Nice Tesla ult denying the Temi F out of there. KLA 17S with the flank. TE trying to win this out, but 5-2-1 with the flank. Unlucky for KLA, eating the W, the double V3 Vipers from both TE and 5-2-1. Great cleanup coming up from 5-2-1 though.
Yeah, I mean, these Tessers, like, they're just going to be looking to bully a fight that's already gone down, especially with the Viper V3. It's so frustrating for the Takeda as well. For KLA, they only got 1 kill off of that, as well as committing all of their ultimates, so they're not going to be able to put themselves into a realm of Yang, which means any fight afterwards that they try and take to play catch-up in terms of kills already on the board for the likes of WBG and JL is at risk of those same Tessers coming in and third-partying yet again. WBG have always put themselves immediately into realm of Yangs, so it goes to show that this is a team that is thinking of survivability first, kills second. They understand that off of the rip, they've already been able to pick up a nice bunch of eliminations, and it might not be worth going into realm of Yang where you lose potentially the entire lobby and kill multiplier. As they are going to still be sticking around the scene to see whether or not they can find an interception onto Bowder, who are going to put themselves through and as a result put themselves into a 1v1 against OUG. JL, on the meantime, is either going to have picked up a Morris Blessing or gotten a realm of Yang for free. As it is going to be OUG's U on that Takeda. We've talked about how clean it is before. Will he be able to pull it off again? He goes aerial, activates the F, tries to find a lockdown coming on in with the dual blades, the uppercut conversion into all of that follow-up damage. A lot of it is going to be nullified, however, by the zip healing, but that's already a lot of the zip cooldowns bursted on out. U reveals the trump card in the pocket. Cavalry Bloom on those dual blades is going to try and keep up the pressure, scourging on through, trying to knock these players into the Tumult Wisp behind them off of that ultimate. 2 Furin shoves left to use name. He's trying to chase down Bowder's peak. He gets the stagger of the Furin shove to convert into the Cavalry Bloom. And as a result, the zip falls and Bowder's sustainability drains down the sink alongside it.
Man, every time I see OUG's U, His grapple game off the start and that perfect spacing for that drop with the flank LMB just starts off the fight with pure momentum. Other Takeda already shook, getting uppercut in the middle of his team, and he just follows up perfectly, crouch join the Takeda and finding the zipping weak. Now we have JL going crazy on the Viper. They need to get past to that 74-point threshold, already up to 9 kills. WBG at 6 kills. They do have the rest. They just need to play it a little bit slow, scale up, and play this end game. But it's going to come down to the wire now that OUG has got online. KLA has got online. Their
KLA and
Takedas,
WBG are just playing Bush right now, Raven.
as long as they get to this end game, that's where all the money is going to be made. But OUG has momentum. Remember, this team got the 30 bomb and back-to-back 20 bombs. This team can, once they get going, once they get firing on all cylinders and they have some Jades of Destiny, this Calvary Bloom is going to be huge on you.
The 30
Especially when
bomb
he
was
gets
with
to this
Sand
goal.
Siphon as
Yes.
well.
On Holoroth too. This is their best map. Best comp, best map. They're going for the MVP. They're going to be aggressive this whole map.
Oh, they're puffing pretty close towards WBG.
Is WBG in a bush over here?
Yeah, WBG and KLA are both in bushes, but WBG's in a bush, like... Oh no, WBG's in a bush away from them. They're pushing more towards KLA. Sorry. They might catch an eye of DRG though, and chase after that team instead. Someone's got Aurora Burst. That is an incredibly large flash on the screen, as poor Ivan does not have a fan at the moment. He's going to lose that weapon. That's going to be a witch and teleport immediately, but it is a Tessa V1 that Ivan was able to throw out, and that immediately points the signal over towards where they've run off to. As OUG have indeed been able to track down a team. It's not DRG, however, it is EWG. You, with that Cavalry Bloom and the Furin Shoves, unfortunately not able to finish off the kill. The Tessa V1 is going to come through and save his Viper's life. As you now looks to try and come through with these last couple of shoves, pressure EWG back against the wall so that he's able to convert it into immediate follow-up on the Soul Jade. And as a result, OUG pick themselves up 5 kills and counting. JL, however, could play a little bit of a spanner in the works of this team's MVP plan, as they've already picked themselves up 9 kills. Raven, if someone doesn't take them out of the mix, they could walk away with an MVP and stop OUG.
True. That's another great point you brought up, Moxie, that just because you're on match point doesn't mean you're not competing against the rest of the lobby. JL can still hold this down. So can Wolves, so can T. All these teams have been having great days. Same thing with Bada. Now, unfortunately, Bada has been crippled, but BBE has been on fire as well. If something clicks for BBE, they could possibly get a ton of kills and close out their end game. But a lot of these teams, when CN wants to play very conservative and play their end games, they are extremely efficient at this, extremely disciplined. They set up their end games with perfect loot, perfect looting paths so they don't get caught out, stuck in zone, and they hold position super well on terrain. Second Yang is going to be coming up, and we already know who's going in there. OUG is going to be making their way over there. Now, will they get in? Because we see JL to the south on the assassination play. They may try to hold them from going in. They don't want these Siphon teams to get inside of Yang with ultimate. Even if they all in him there and rob OUG from going in, it is still, I think, a decent play in the long run for JL. Now, it kind of just helps the rest of the lobby. Doesn't particularly help them. I don't know if they were able to spot OUG making their way to the Yang, but Yu's ultimate is gold, making it super, super strong. And they are waiting to go in. It seems like something caught their eye, though, as they fade away. Yang is going to be popped up, and Bauda is going to be back on the field with double rebirth charm. But Yu is going in. Who will be challenging OUG? Best comp, best
Is it
map,
anyone?
super
This is going to be
scaled.
really rough for OUG, because if they don't get challenged, then they don't get that potential free kills without getting third partied.
True.
And in fact, by putting themselves into realm of Yang, they might have allowed some of these other teams to start gravitating towards Morris Blessing, which is going to see way more teams contesting the space and as a result have way more kill potential in terms of those numbers, start to again overtake in terms of MVP standings. And it looks like, yeah, oh no, there we go. OUG do get to challenge the team. BBE towards the tail end, walk into that one. I think BBE's only got one player remaining though. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, was that Bauda? I think Bauda lost like 2 players to Yang depletion, so I wasn't sure if they maybe sent like one of their players in and hoped that no one challenged them so they could get a free rebirth charm. OUG are going to get that opportunity to get 3 extra kills on the board. You going to utilize the pillar and try and line of sight this Viper stun. You see that it's V3, not the V1, however, so he does commit back into the fight with the Cavalry Bloom, which and teleport is going to be forced on out and into the Furin shoves, into the invisible wall. Do BBE go? He's able to find the interaction on the urn, trying to find the lockdown on this Tessa, just keeping up the pressure so that he can peel for his teammate. As OUG's the King was able to get hit by that V1 enchantment, and Yu immediately steps into position to soak up all of the attention that the Tesla could have used to turn onto the Z-Ping. As we've talked about, Yu is a very good Takeda, but not just in terms of his aggression, but the fact that he is able to very quickly identify when it's best to play defensive Takeda and peel for his teammates as well. Just makes him absolutely invaluable in a trio setup.
Yeah, great play from you. Initially, when the Viper ult goes off, you see you play it safe, making sure that it's not a V1 ultimate. The second he realizes V3, he comes back out and sits in the middle of his team, because even after the stagger, the silence ends and he's able to shove immediately to help his 3 teammates to reduce the pressure. Great presence of mind of you. Even though his armor is shredded, he knew he can absorb at least 1 hit and shove the enemy. F3 Viper was down, so they weren't going to get AoE nuked. We're seeing KLA hiding in the bush, but hiding in a bush is not going to win it. They have to play these Yang depletion situations. I really think moving forward, if you're on match point, even though you're low, you can't play the safe game. You have to play this very safe, but it's still aggressive. The full defensive passive play will not play out for you because you have to MVP and you're at the threat. Even though you see while you're playing exactly which teams are getting kills, you don't know the exact implications, like how much they're snowballing. So you have to be very, very aggressive, that maybe you have a chance that you are the one influencing their fight and slowing them down. As they go aggressively, as long as you're watching them, they may not commit to a fight. That threat of mutual destruction is very, very big. And as long as you play the terrain situation correctly, there's a small threat of dying, but you can avoid it. Now, it looks like OUG ends up going with the blue buff for, like I said, they're taking the middle ground where they're aggressive to the point where they can see what the fights are going and they can fight select really, really good. Now, JDG, Kiki on the Justina coming in hot, looking for the ult, takes to the sky, trying to figure out where the Wuchen port is. He sees them at max range. Now, DRG doesn't know that they're running into a very stacked blue buff OUG. Triple charge is going to come out, or triple dash coming out from Kiki. She has one more dash to her name. Justina does go for one more hit. Gets the LMB with the Draco Sword running out. Nice play from JDG's Kiki to get DRG, but on the opposite side, BBE versus KLA. BBE has Yang Repletion. Ooh, really, really close to taking down the Cicada. Double focus attack coming in, and now QGG in full retreat, trying to get out of there. Nice shove to get him around the corner. V3 is going to be invested. Jump parry from Roy Hehe. He is going to take him down. Oh no, KLA might be out of the running. BBE's aggression paying off for them. Tons of pressure coming out, but 5-2-1, the foreign brothers coming in hot with their own V3. Wuchen does react and port, but they're right in line of sight of 5-2-1. There's nowhere to go. BBE's Boishishi running away. Oh my goodness, it's neck to neck, but KLA is out of the running. WBG and OUG are head to head though with JL, Moxie.
Oh, that blistering attached to that pulse sword from Yu is going to be doing so much work. Yu does get held into position. The Tessa V1 is now going to be snapping. Good little bit of heal coming on through from the King to keep his Takeda alive as Bauda teleport out. and start to put pressure onto the Takeda, seeing that the ultimate is already through. JL also in the vicinity. JL on 10 kills. If OUG or WBG do not get MVP right here, right now, JL are going to be on the brink of match point themselves. We did say some of these teams that were getting close to that 74 marker only needed about 20 points from this round, and they would also be in the running. And this is exactly what JL have identified. It's the reason why they're coming in with the Tesla, the Viper, and that Wu Chen, because this is a composition that has kill potential through all stages of the round, which means that you can get incredibly aggressive and continue getting aggressive and picking apart, preying off all of these other teams that you know are going to be in similar situations, trying to find fights to be able to qualify into those 74 points. It's OUG. This is going to be an incredibly important fight for them. Might be able to stack up another 3 kills. JDG very quickly fall. BBE now collapsing onto the scene, thinking about maybe looking for the third party, drawn in by the side of that no ult zone. Popping on through. They know that a fight is going on down. They've got the Viper, they've got the Tessa. This is a team who, as we've said, tries to find fights that are going on in third party, but unfortunately for them, that fight is already over, so they are not gonna risk it. WBG, on the other hand, having to actually commit Baigei's ultimate to be able to body block damage. In fact, WBG, it looks like, went to try and capture Mora's Blessing to get the immediate loot upgrade, and then took so much pressure from Bowder that not only were they forced into utilizing the U ultimate, they were also forced into utilizing the Farrier V3 as well.
Bowder is really making this tough for WBG. They just want to scale up, play this endgame correctly, but Bowder is not giving this up for free. The Viper teams are absolutely harassing everyone. But it looks like Bowder is going to back off finally. They don't want to overcommit to this situation and incur the wrath of more. The Farrier mech ends up doing a ton of poke pressure to get them out. Now, going back to that other fight, great play coming out from OUG. The Temi into the no ult zone combo. They lure them in, and right at the last second, Temi ult them, and then immediately no ult them, denying any ult pressure from the triple, using that one ult perfectly. It's one of the things that you can do with Temi, and another thing you can do with Tessa is really, really abuse his no ult zones, and you're seeing why OUG has been one of the most consistent teams in the past 2 weeks of the NBPL. Now, JL, no slouch as well. But unfortunately for Viper teams, this is when you start losing horsepower, and the fact that Cannonball and Sand Siphon start scaling up uncontrollably. The gold weapons on all the Transformers and the gold ultimate on Takeda just becomes so hard to deal with the Vipers, and you're basically at the mercy of them overextending and finding a kill. We're seeing JL, though, staying very active, willing to take this fight, not really shying from the moment. They know that if they don't do it, it might not happen, so they do catch you a little bit overextending. OUG's SS as well, trying to get up the rocks. He's not able to, and the V3 is going to be invested. Now, OUG's SS stuck on the bottom. His teammates not there to help him. He is going to be able to mash his F out, head into zone a little bit, and OUG's U at the top, able to find a kill on 521's Yin. But in the middle of two Viper teams, the Viper stun does come out, the V3 locking it down, but OUG is calling full retreat. Too many Viper teams out there. We need to play this safe. We're up to 12 kills, but JL is on the bottom. Up top, we got 521. On the bottom, we got JL. There's just Vipers everywhere. The King is going to get caught out, unfortunately. But still, the Temi and Takeda live on to fight another day. But JL, they might just steal this MVP and manage to get the match point themselves.
Wait, OUG is taking the res. The King's back! Huge tumult ultimate comes on through from OUG right on top of the body, and they're able to stick the res, the two of them, and get the zip back. You now takes cover inside the tent, sits on that blistering edge so that no one can try and put pressure onto OUG until they've been able to fully reset and get that zip healed on up. OUG's the King also still getting a purple weapon. He only has blue armor because that was very quickly ripped off of his body. But this is huge for OUG. They're sitting on 12 kills because they were able to get pressure onto 521 to force the Wu Shen TP. Make that 13 because they get another kill onto Unique. And now OUG are out in full force and hunting because they know that these teams do not have that Wuchen teleport.
And no else to the name, but 82% onto you. That was a dicey situation and excellent navigation of the terrain to get out of that situation. Going up into the hype, and now it's going to be Bauda versus JL. VBV down to low health on the Tessa. You spotting out the fight, looking for the bow shot. Some of the best aim in the league. OUG staying active again. They're not passive. They're not shying away from the moment. They're just playing their game, getting in their Heartstopper on the SS, looking for the silence. But JL managing to stabilize, get their health back up, not looking as vulnerable. Looks like SS is willing to go in his zone, to kind of scale up further. There's 17 people alive. JL and BBE are in contention to take away this MVP, but OUG, the juggernaut of this lobby, super scaled, and this is where that Takeda comp does shine. I've seen situations though where you has gotten caught out, where he's gone over a ledge, so it's still not a guarantee, but it looks like OUG is looking to take their back-to-back bi-weekly.
To the Raven, they've got legendary armor. They've been very quietly picking away through Mora's blessings. They have 2 legendary armor sets on them, and they've got 7 kills as well. So OUG could actually be open. SS is actually going to get hit into by the Tessa V1. Has to immediately drop the Tumult ultimate to be able to peel his position. JL pick up 1 kill onto Bauda and start contesting their 12 kills now, 1 behind OUG. And OUG just had to burn that Tumult ultimate, which is the one thing keeping all of the ranged poke pressure away and off of their backs. So as a result, they're having to fully reposition. WBG now cycling in with that Ferio V3, drop it for their Yoto, and so the mech farm begins. Another kill picked up for WBG as well. 9 kills for them, and they're also one of those teams who are MVP eligible. Another kill picked up, and crucially, this is onto 1 from JL. JL now missing that Wuchen. If you miss 1 player, if you lose 1 player with the Tessa Viper and Wuchen, at least it is the Wuchen. The teleport does not have the same level of impact. You want the Tessa and the Viper so that you still have those ultimates that can control the space of those teams around you. Losing the Wuchen does mean, however, that you lose the windshields. So as a result, they're going to have to be very careful that they do not get poked down by all of these teams. They're looking to come through with the cannon to regenerate the ultimate. OUG's U gets hit by the Tessa and that Viper. Goes in with the pole sword, activates the app, tries to come through with the blistering edge to play off of the edge of that Aurora burst. Because BBE was so close to the edge of the zone. If you had been able to find those Takeda shoves, that would have been so much damage. Blistering edge, Takeda shove, and corruption tick all overlay. And that is a huge hit of health that everyone from WBG is now going to be missing. Good peel coming through, however, from Akshao in the form of that Yoto V3, and he's able to translate it into a kill onto OUG's The King as well. Raven, this is rapidly falling apart for OUG. They've been reduced to 2 players. They're still missing the Zip, but unfortunately for them, it's going to be a lot harder to get the revive off this time around. As WBG, another Ferio V3 is dropped. OUG's U goes down to BBE's Aizen, and this is falling apart further still for the Sand Siphon. It's just the Tumult left. WBG's Akshao is going to be able to hop into the Ferio V3, and WBG start to come alive.
Unlucky for OUG. The all-in from Bauda has gifted this lobby to WBG. They've had gold armor the whole time, and they're nuking the rest of just getting over the finish line. Axio inside the Ferio. He just needs to secure 2 more kills to take the lead, and they can MVP this. JL is out of here, but BBE can still steal this away. They do go down, OUG and WBG, but WBG has all 3 teammates out. 5-2-1's Yin, last little bit of health. What can OUG do to bring this back? WBG's playing so safe right now. They played this perfectly. Good armor on all 3 of them. The Transformers just trying to get this off the finish line. Are we going to see WBG ascend to new heights today with SS going down, and WBG is gonna take the lead? They are gonna cross the finish line, take first place, and the MVP.